The power of first impressions is one of those silent forces in life that most people underestimate, yet it can completely alter the course of an interaction in seconds. You see, the truth is, before you even say a single word, before you have the chance to demonstrate your intelligence, humor, or charm, she has already felt something about you. This is because first impressions are less about what you say and more about the unspoken energy you project. When you walk into a room, you are already speaking not with your mouth, but with your body language, your posture, your eyes, and the aura you carry. If you slump your shoulders, avoid eye contact, or move with hesitation, you are telling a silent story of uncertainty. And women, they are experts in reading that story instantly. But when you walk in with your head up, shoulders back, and a calm yet deliberate pace, you're telling a completely different story, one of self, belief, control, and quiet authority. Think about it. When you see someone step into a space with total ease, as if they belong there without needing to announce it, you can't help but notice there's no desperation in their movements, no frantic scanning of the room. They simply are, and their presence demands acknowledgement. That's the same effect you want to create, not by trying to be the loudest, but by letting your energy be undeniable. I remember once being at a social gathering, and there was this man who caught everyone's attention without saying a single word. He wasn't dressed extravagantly, but his clothes fit him well. He wasn't wearing a forced smile, but his expression carried warmth. He didn't rush into conversations. Instead, he took his time, scanning the space with a sense of calm awareness. People gravitated toward him because he radiated composure. That's when I understood that presence is magnetic and you don't need to perform for it to work. Presence begins long before you even meet her. It starts with how you take care of yourself, your grooming, your health, your mindset. It's in the way you breathe, the way you stand, and the way you occupy space. Even something as simple as the pace of your steps can communicate confidence or insecurity. When you move with intention, you show that you're comfortable in your skin, and that comfort is incredibly attractive. Eye contact is another silent yet powerful part of first impressions. When you meet her eyes, not in a predatory way, but with genuine interest, it sends a message. I see you, and I'm not afraid to be seen. It's amazing how much can be said in just a few seconds of steady, unhurried eye contact. It's the difference between blending into the background and leaving a mark in her memory. Then there's your energy. People can feel it. If you walk into a space burdened with stress, frustration, or neediness, she'll sense it before you even speak. But if you carry a lightness, a confidence that doesn't need validation, she'll feel safe and drawn in. That's why your inner state matters. Your thoughts, your emotions, your self-talk, they all leak into your body language and shape the impression you give. Here's the thing, first impressions aren't about being perfect, they're about being present. You don't have to be the most handsome man in the room, but you do need to be the most grounded. When you own your space without apology, when you enter like you belong there, and when your energy says, I know who I am, she will notice. And that notice is the first step to everything else that follows. Creating an instant emotional connection is not about finding the perfect words or crafting a flawless pickup line. It's about entering her world in a way that makes her feel seen, heard, and valued in the very first moments of your interaction. You see, people don't remember every detail of what you say, but they remember exactly how you made them feel. If you can make her feel understood and comfortable within minutes of meeting, you've already set yourself apart from the majority of men she encounters. When you first speak to her, resist the temptation to turn the conversation into a performance. You're not auditioning for her approval, and you're not there to overwhelm her with facts about yourself. Instead, focus on her. Ask her questions that go beyond the surface, questions that open doors to her personality, her passions, her story. Don't just ask where she's from, ask what that place means to her. Don't just ask what she does, ask why she chose to do it. That why is where her emotions live. And when you tap into it, the conversation shifts from polite small talk to a genuine exchange of hearts. Listening is a skill most people think they have, but rarely practice deeply. When she speaks, don't be planning your next clever response. Instead, tune into her words, her tone, her body language. Notice when her eyes light up, when her voice softens, when she pauses to think. Each of these moments is a window into her inner world, and by acknowledging them with a nod, a smile, or a gentle follow up, you're telling her, I'm here and I'm paying attention. It's not just about what you say in return, it's about the energy you bring to the exchange. If you remain grounded, calm, and genuinely curious, she will feel safe in your presence. And when a woman feels safe, emotionally safe, she will naturally open up more. That openness isn't something you can force, it's something you invite through the consistency of your attention. One of the most powerful tools in creating that instant bond is vulnerability, not oversharing your deepest traumas within 5 minutes, but being real enough to let her see that you're human. Share a small, honest piece of yourself, maybe a recent challenge, a quirky habit, or a dream you've been working toward. When she senses that you're not afraid to be authentic, she'll be more likely to drop her own guard. Connection thrives in authenticity, not in perfection. Tone of voice plays a bigger role than people realize. Speak in a way that's warm and steady, with a rhythm that makes her want to lean in rather than pull away. When you rush your words, it can feel like you're trying too hard to fill the silence. But when you speak with pauses, giving her space to process and respond, you create a rhythm that feels more like a dance than an interrogation. And don't underestimate the power of shared laughter. Humor, especially the kind that comes naturally from the moment, not forced jokes, creates instant bonding. It signals comfort, lightness, and a shared wavelength. A small moment of mutual laughter can build a bridge between two strangers faster than an hour of polite conversation. At the core, creating an emotional connection is about being fully present with her. When your attention is unwavering and your energy is genuine, she will feel it and it will leave a mark that lasts far beyond the first meeting. That's when you stop being just another man she met today and start becoming the man she remembers tomorrow. Subtle confidence is a language all its own. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand, and it never begs for approval. Instead, it speaks through the quiet assurance of someone who knows their own worth without having to put it on display for validation. It's the difference between the man who tries to convince you he's powerful and the man who simply moves as if power is already his. Women feel that difference instantly. Many men think confidence means walking in with bravado, dominating the conversation, or showcasing their achievements like trophies. But true confidence is softer, more grounded. It's not an act, it's an unshakable knowing. When you're subtly confident, your presence doesn't overpower the room, it centers it. You can stand quietly in a corner and still be noticed, not because you're trying to be seen, but because your energy naturally draws attention. It shows in the way you speak. Your voice doesn't have to be loud to be heard. A steady, calm tone carries far more authority than one that's raised in an effort to command respect. You're not competing for airtime. You're creating space for meaningful conversation. You speak when you have something to say, not just to fill the silence. And when you do speak, your words carry weight because they're not driven by a need to impress, they're driven by authenticity. Subtle confidence also lives in restraint. You don't need to prove yourself in every moment. You can let her share the spotlight without feeling threatened. You can let others speak without interrupting because you know your value isn't diminished by giving someone else the floor. In fact, your willingness to listen, to be patient, and to hold back when necessary often makes your words more impactful when you finally choose to share them. Then there's your body language, perhaps the most telling sign of your inner state. The subtly confident man doesn't fidget, doesn't check his phone every 2 minutes, doesn't dart his eyes around the room as if waiting for something better to happen. He's present, he's comfortable in the moment, whether he's standing alone or engaged in conversation. His posture says, I belong here, without arrogance, just certainty. Another layer of subtle confidence is the ability to handle rejection or discomfort without breaking character. If a moment doesn't go your way, if she's distracted, if she's not responding with the enthusiasm you expected, you don't crumble or try to overcompensate. You stay steady because confidence isn't built on the outcome of a single interaction. It's built on the belief that you will always be okay, no matter the response you receive. That belief is magnetic. Women are especially sensitive to this type of stability. It communicates emotional maturity, and maturity is attractive in ways that looks alone can never match. It tells her you can handle life's unpredictability without falling apart, that you can be a source of grounding rather than chaos. And when she senses that, she can relax in your presence. Subtle confidence doesn't scream for her attention, it invites her curiosity. It's the steady gaze that holds hers without challenge, the slight smile that hints at a story she wants to hear, the calm in your demeanor that makes her wonder what kind of life you live. And that curiosity, that quiet pull, often speaks louder than any grand gesture could. Authenticity is rare, and because it's rare, it's magnetic. In a world where so many people are performing, curating their every word and movement to fit an image, the person who simply shows up as themselves stands out without even trying. Women can feel authenticity almost instantly. It's in your tone, in your eyes, in the way your words match your actions. And when she senses that you're not hiding behind a mask, she begins to relax. That relaxation is the first step toward trust. And trust is the soil where attraction grows. When you're authentic, you're not trying to predict what she wants to hear. You're not tailoring your personality to fit her expectations. You speak from a place of truth, whether you're sharing a funny story, a belief you hold, or even an opinion that might be different from hers. This doesn't mean you're careless or blunt for the sake of it. It means your words are rooted in honesty, not in a performance designed to win approval. One of the most striking things about authenticity is that it's not about perfection. In fact, your imperfections, the quirks, the slightly awkward laugh, the way you get animated when talking about something you love, often become the very things that draw her closer. When you own those parts of yourself, instead of trying to smooth them out, you show her that you're comfortable in your own skin. That comfort is contagious. It tells her it's safe for you to be yourself here too. I once met a man who didn't say a single impressive thing the entire evening, yet people gathered around him. Why? Because he wasn't trying to be someone else. He wasn't laughing at jokes he didn't find funny or nodding along to opinions he didn't agree with. He was present, engaged, and unapologetically himself. And when you're truly yourself, you give off an unshakable steadiness. She knows exactly who she's dealing with, no hidden agendas, no sudden shift in personality depending on the audience. Authenticity also means your actions align with your words. If you tell her you value honesty, she should see it in how you handle difficult topics. If you say you're someone who respects people, she should see it in how you treat the waiter, the stranger, the friend who interrupts your conversation. Every little action reinforces or undermines the image you're presenting. And when they align consistently, she begins to believe in the person she's seeing. Another powerful element of authenticity is the ability to admit when you don't know something or when you've made a mistake. Many men feel pressure to always have the right answer or to maintain a flawless image. But when you can simply say, I'm not sure, or I was wrong about that, you're showing strength, not weakness. Because only a man who is secure in himself can admit those things without fear of losing respect. When you're authentic, you don't chase her with a script. You allow moments to unfold naturally. You might have a plan, but you're not clinging to it so tightly that you can't adapt. She can feel when your interest in her is genuine and not just a series of practice lines. And when she feels that, when she senses that every smile, every laugh, every glance is real, her guard comes down. That's when she starts leaning in, not because you pushed her, but because she wants to. Sealing the energy is about leaving her with a feeling she can't quite put into words, a sensation that lingers in her mind long after you've walked away. It's not about rushing to lock down a plan or forcing the interaction into a next step. It's about creating a closing moment that feels complete, yet leaves her curious for more. Too many men think they need to close the deal the moment they feel a spark, but that urgency can break the magic. Real connection thrives in patience and subtlety. When the conversation is flowing and the energy between you feels light yet charged, that's the moment to slow down, not speed up. Let the rhythm breathe. Listen more than you speak. Let her words settle in your mind before you respond. And when you do respond, make it something that shows you've truly been present. This is where you shift from just talking to sharing something personal, a thought, a small compliment, a reflection on something she said earlier. It shows that you weren't just passing time, you were invested in the exchange. Sometimes, sealing the energy can be as simple as leaving on a high note. If you've been making her laugh, let that laughter be the final sound she hears from you that day. If you've been sharing something meaningful, leave her with a line that echoes in her thoughts later. This doesn't mean rehearsing some cinematic exit. It means being intentional about the moment you choose to step away. Your body language in these final moments matters as much as your words. When you say goodbye, maintain steady eye contact, just long enough for her to feel the weight of it, but not so long that it becomes awkward. A small smile, a gentle nod, or a warm handshake, these are simple gestures, but in the right emotional atmosphere, they become powerful anchors in her memory. Don't underestimate the value of leaving some mystery. When you share everything all at once, when you tell your whole story in one sitting, there's nothing left for her to discover. But if you leave certain things unsaid, hints about your life, pieces of your personality she's only just begun to see, she will want to come back for more. That wanting is the essence of attraction. The beauty of sealing the energy is that it's not about manipulation. It's about respect for the natural pace of connection. It says, I value this moment and I trust there will be more. It removes the pressure and leaves her feeling lighter, not burdened. When you leave her in that emotional space, curious, comfortable, and thinking about you, you've already won more than you could by pushing for something too soon. She might not remember every detail of your conversation, but she will remember how she felt as you walked away. And if that feeling is warm, steady, and filled with possibility, you've planted something far more powerful than any rushed attempt at closeness. You've left her wondering, and that wonder will keep pulling her back toward you. At the end of the day, attraction isn't built on magic tricks, rehearsed lines, or desperate chases. It's built in the subtle spaces between moments, in the way you carry yourself before a word is spoken, in the way you make her feel heard without trying to impress, in the calm assurance that doesn't need to prove itself, in the honesty of showing her exactly who you are, and in the patience to leave her wanting more instead of pushing for everything at once. When you master these, you stop being just another man in her day and start becoming the man she remembers at night. Not because you tried to be perfect, but because you were present, grounded, and real. That's the kind of connection that moves fast, without ever feeling rushed. The kind that lingers long after the first encounter. The kind that makes her think, I want to see him again. So don't chase moments, create them. Don't force attraction, invite it. And remember, the most powerful impression you can leave on a woman is not just that she liked you, but that she felt more like herself when she was with you.